What if music could paint emotions we've never even seen before? That's the groundbreaking concept behind an album that's completely changing how we experience sound and feeling. Intrigued? Welcome to the Polyriff Podcast, where rock, prog, and stories collide in unexpected ways. I'm your host, Elena Cross, and today we're stepping into a world painted in sound, literally. My guest is Rex Narratus, the mysterious voice guiding Dark Matter Rhapsody, whose upcoming album, The Painter of Invisible Colors, is already stirring up a great deal of excitement.
Thanks, Elena. I'm glad to be here, even happier the paint hasn't completely dried yet. Let's say it gives me a chance to fix a few happy little accidents.
Accidents? Really? You know, I feel like that's the perfect way to describe your music. Still wet, still shifting, an accident waiting to happen, but it all comes together in the end. The Painter of Invisible Colors feels like an album you don't just listen to. You walk through it. You become part of it. You've called it a gallery for the ears. What does that mean?
Well, I'd say it's about emotional landscapes. Each song is like a canvas made from a specific emotional pigment. We've even given them names, like Crimson Truth or Violet Sorrow. The goal was to create not just songs, but these living portraits that change depending on where you're standing in your own life when you hear them.
So it's a different experience for each listener. I love that. Now, I want to go back. Before the colors, before the track list, what's the origin story? Where did Painter really start?
The very beginning, like the Big Bang? I guess I'd say it all started with a single question. What if we could hear colors we've never seen? Here's what I mean by that. It started right after COVID. I was sketching out ideas for something small, just a couple of experimental pieces, but suddenly it hit me. The epiphany happened when a friend's mom I knew passed away. She spent most of her life alone. Rarely talked to others, her whole life. You know, how sad was her life? So I kept imagining this painter who could capture emotions invisible to everyone else, and each emotion had a distinct hue. That became the backbone of the album. Each song is a painting in that hidden spectrum.
So the concept came before the music?
Yup, once the story was in place, the music became the brush.
Let's listen to a little from The Color That Burned.
This is the color that burned. The portrait truth to say. She left a mark they couldn't erase. A color born to take up space. Let the canvas hold the flame. Let the world remember her name.
That track feels like it could burst out of the speakers. And it's not just energy for energy's sake. You can hear the intent in every measure. So Rex, what was the most challenging track to create for Painter?
That would have to be We Remember the Fire. It was our first time building in the Solmara style, blending vintage synth textures with Native American-leaning instrumentation and chants. Getting those worlds to feel like they grown together naturally instead of colliding. That was the puzzle. But once it clicked, it felt like it had always existed.
Okay, that's exciting. I've also heard there are 3 instrumentals called Invisible Colors, spaced through the album, intro, segue, and finale. Almost like guideposts.
Exactly. They're not just filler. They're there to let you breathe and reframe the emotional palette before the next piece comes in. And the finale is an 8-minute suite that takes you on a journey of the 8 bands and groups who influenced our music. You know, it's the closest thing we've done to a full sonic painting.
Now, let's pivot to the Doppelganger Trials. It's coming later this year, and I've heard it's a lot darker. What sparked that concept?
Honestly, friends, several of them had told me that they suffered from impostor syndrome, not just as a struggle, but almost like it was something they were proud to wear. That fascinated me. It's like saying, I don't belong here, but look at how well I've built the disguise. You know, that kind of thinking. It's like living a double life. It's walking around with your own shadow dressed up as you.
So Doppelganger takes that feeling and runs with it?
Completely. I was asking myself the question, what if those insecurities weren't just feelings? What if they were actual versions of you? And what happens when you have to confront them one by one? The result is darker, heavier, and less forgiving than Painter. Painter ends with a happy ending. Doppelganger, well, you'll have to listen to it when it launches on October 31st.
Let's bring the light back for a moment. Here's a taste of We Remember the Fire.
The ones yet to come. Where we rise, we fall, we circle it all, we burn, we cry, and still we call, we dance in dark, our feet are flame, the fire knew us, we know it's where we rise, we fall, we circle it all, we burn, we cry, and still we call, we dance in dark, our feet are flame, the fire knew us, we know its name.
That's pure liftoff. But before we close, Rex, I think it's only fair our listeners get a tiny glimpse into Doppelganger.
Let's do it. Just keep in mind, this album's a psychological soul twister, and it bites back.
Here's a brief tease from Under Arrest, The Professional, one of the opening punches from the Doppelganger Trials.
I'm the brand, the plan, the man you trust, but every word's collecting dust. There's a riot in my chest, I won't confess. The professional's under arrest, under arrest, under arrest. Professional no more, I must protest.
Rex, thank you for taking us behind the curtain, or maybe behind the canvas, of the Painter of Invisible Colors, and giving us that sneak peek into the Doppelganger Trials.
My pleasure. Hopefully next time, we'll have even more colors and shadows to talk about.
You can find Painter of Invisible Colors when it drops September 5th on all major streaming platforms, and keep an ear out for the Doppelganger Trials later this year. Be sure to visit their Facebook fan page, Dark Matter Rhapsody, or their artist page at indieheritage.com. This has been the Polyriff Podcast, where we go beyond the riff to find the story. See you next time.